What's all that, Rosie?
Chris was shopping.
Oh, somebody's been buying online.
She likes to share her boxes with you, which is wonderful.
That is wonderful. Every one of those saves me 50 cents to $1. Now, Rose just arrived with a big armload of Amazon boxes, empties. She was out to game day playing some sort of board game with the ladies, and one of those participants likes to give Rosie all the empty boxes that come in, the Amazon boxes, which of course I reuse. But talking about Amazon and shopping online, which I was just outside recording a video on that topic, and we were discussing affiliate marketing and buying things like this regularly. Consumables. This one's a multivitamin. It's for mature people. I was reminded that I am now a mature person when Rose cut my hair this week, and I picked up a couple clumps of the hair. Half of it was gray, half of it was brown, but no longer red, certainly. So getting my hair cut reminds me that each time it happens, there's more gray and less auburn. After Rose cut my hair today, it still amazes me that at this point in my life, there can be such a disparity in what used to be red and is now either brown or almost gray-white. It just shows how things change as we age. But talking about items like this, and the reason it's important to comparison shop for items you buy regularly, and how over time it can save you money. Especially when you're talking about the topic of affiliate marketing. Some companies, like Amazon, it appears that they'll let just about anybody do affiliate marketing. If they can make the sale happen, they get a percentage. You get the item. Preferably, you're getting a discount coupon as well. But the point is the same item sold on Amazon directly can be resold by many, many different people, and it'll pop up in your feed from different sources. Could be a Walmart, could be eBay. Especially eBay, you can find the same people selling the same product page after page on eBay. And it makes you wonder how many of them are good and reliable. And if it's that type of product you're going for, definitely look at the feedback scores, look at the comments in general, check the locations, make sure they're US based if you're actually concerned about products coming in from overseas. One of my granddaughters a few years back ran into an issue with cosmetics. The cosmetics were being produced overseas, and it caused some skin rash to break out because they weren't controlling the products as well as the FDA was, I guess, here in the US. But when you get products shipped in from overseas, especially watch the labeling and marketing. There are rules about substituting ingredients, and you're going to put those ingredients in your mouth for things like vitamins or on your body for salves and lotions and potions. You know, you want to have some assurance. So going to a reputable source for items like that, it's different than, say, buying a crescent wrench. Do you really care whether the crescent wrench came in from an American buyer or a foreign buyer if the brand is made overseas to begin with? Probably not. But in certain categories, you're going to want to do your research. All right, we're down here to do a little shipping today. And one of the items I was talking about when I was sitting outside were these 3 shirts, and about how when I made the listing, I ended up taking the tape off of one in order to actually present it a little better. It's probably one of the reasons it didn't present as well in the auction we tried to run it through. But then, of course, most people aren't going to an auction to buy t-shirts. Most people. They're going to Amazon, or they're going to eBay, or they're going downtown to a retail store. So the first item, which I've got to go in and pack when this video is over, is a group of new old stock t-shirts. Yeah, here you can see how the shirts were factory rolled. So what I did is I opened up one, took a couple photos like this, lead photo looks like that. That way they can see what the neckline looks like. It's hard to sell products like shirts when they arrive new like this. There just isn't enough visibly to interest the buyer. Fruit of the Loom men's 100% cotton, short sleeve, 3 of them, basic tee. And these really are basic tees. They're pretty thin. But I'll go ahead and pull them, we'll get them packed, and we'll get them sent on their way. I'll probably put it in a poly or bubble mailer. It's pretty soft. It should work just fine. They're of the type that came rolled. Some stores, when they set up retail displays, to keep the t-shirts organized and neat, they'll put like one on a mannequin and then they'll roll the others and seal them, or they'll put them in bags. The idea being that the customer won't take all the products and shake them out, and then some store employee has to come around and refold them and constantly reset the display. Well, I think these were marketed that way because they're rolled. And when I got them, which was some time ago, they came in with a whole bunch of other clothes. And we, in fact, took most of those clothes, like the bamboo, the clothing made out of bamboo, and some anime costumes, and we actually ran an auction for ourselves. We pulled out some items and put them up on eBay. A bunch of the items went into a ninja auction, and of course some of the ninja auction items didn't sell. Now often when that happens, we'll push them around and we'll run them at the end of the next auction. We'll give them a couple attempts. But after a couple of attempts, and nobody bought these, probably because, they were rolled, I actually rephotographed them, and I split the band on one, and I put it in the middle. I'll show you the photo. So basically, quickly they could see it was a rolled shirt, an open, partially unfolded shirt, and another rolled shirt. A group of 3 identical shirts in different colors. Well, I guess if they're in 3 different colors, they're not really identical. But 3 of the same model and cut of shirt in 3 different colors. And I put them up on eBay. Right. I figured the market's bigger. They're new old stock, maybe they'll sell. Well, it took a while, so they are a long tail listing. But it's interesting that you change the venue, you change the perceived value and the perception of the product itself. It went through 2 different auctions and they didn't sell. It went up on eBay, it sold. And probably for more than I was willing to take when they were in the auction. Because on eBay, you've got to cover the fees, you've got to worry about the shipping, and of course, you're storing the items longer till that market opens up and some buyer takes them. So I'll be packing them, and I'll show you those when I pack them. We've been talking this week about retail purchases and about how the same item can appear in so many sources at the same time. It's one of the reasons I'll always suggest, if you are selling items like this, especially if they're in your control, because from time to time we'll do an auction buy and we'll go in and we'll clear out a room, and in that will be unopened, new and sealed packaging. Often it's in the health and beauty category. Those are in our possession. We're actually controlling those just like any other stock. They could be Amazon products, and if they're sealed and they haven't expired, I will put those up, and I will be directly competing with other eBay sellers and drop shippers. Price is normally where I have to go to be competitive. But some of those products will have Amazon labeling on them. They'll have retail prices from places like Walmart or your local pharmacy, and they can go down to that store if the store is still open and if the product is still stocked on the shelves, and they can buy it directly. So when you're in that market doing these categories, you have to be really competitive, especially if there's an expiration date on the product. You want to shift yours before the expiration date expires, and it's worthless as a retail product. You can still use it yourself, of course, because you get to decide whether or not something in or out of expiration, whether that's a recommendation or a hard rule. All right, time for me to do some packing. And here are the t-shirts ready to go. First, they were put into a clear t-shirt bag, t-shirts in a t-shirt bag. And then I just slipped them into an eBay branded poly mailer. And these particular ones came with a double tear-off strip. The idea was to make it easy for somebody to open them, but I don't care for that because it also makes it easy for them to be opened en route. So what I normally do is get rid of the extra portion, cuts the weight a little bit too, but then I'll put a piece of tape across here to hold all this down to make sure it doesn't snag up on anything in transit. And we'll get these on out. They're going to North Carolina. The 3 t-shirts came in a bit over a pound, so it'll go out as a 2-pound pack. But we've been discussing retail shopping, e-commerce, doing your price checks, affiliate marketing, and I think while we were outside, we also talked about third-party freight forwarders. And these may end up as different topics, but as always, keep an eye here for a link or check out the playlist on the channel. And send me some feedback to tell me your experiences about price checking and comping and bad dropshipper stories, and about whether you do or have ever done affiliate marketing. I'd like to hear it. This is Brian. I'm down at the packing bench.